Hello and welcome to another session of Riding the Bear, where we show you how you can find your next 2x to 100x, no matter what type of market conditions you may be experiencing. Now, today, it is in your best interest to take notes as well as stay to the end of our call because we're going to be giving away 5 whitelist spots for our project of the week. Now, this show is brought to you by the Vetter platform and Vetter ecosystem. My name is Ryan. I'm so glad to be your host today. Now, whether you are a veteran in our community or you are brand spanking new, today I'm going to show you how best to utilize, hands down, the best research tool, which is the Vetter platform, to support you in finding your next 2x to 100x. Now, go ahead and drop a comment in the comment section, letting me know how long you've been a part of the Vetter community. Personally, I've been here since early October. I was here right before the launch of the actual platform, and it has been an amazing and wild ride the last handful of months. Now, you may be wondering what type of gains can be happening in a bear market like this. Well, let me go over some. Here we have Meta F1. And you're going to see Meta F1. We have what we call a VAL, Vetter Audited Highest Low. VAL stands for Vetter Audited Highest Low. Now, one of the things that you may find interesting about the crypto space is the fact that everyone likes to brag about that ATH, that all-time high. Well, guess what? Only one person sold at the top. Okay, one person got that ATH. But companies like to brag and say, hey, this is what we did. This is what we did. Well, at Vetter, with the ecosystem we're creating, we're changing the game. We're raising the standards. And we're saying, you know what? Let's have a standardized way to keep track of gains. And let's say, you know what would be a reasonable amount of time for someone to sell? And see, we came up with the Vetter Audited Highest Low. And what this means is within the first 24 hours of a project launching, we look to see what is the highest low in which someone had an hour to sell. Okay, meaning within the first 24 hours, someone could have sold at a 1.48x. Okay, 1.48x. You may be thinking, hey, this is a crypto space. I don't get out of bed until, unless there's at least a 10x. Well, let me be real. A 1.5x compounded over time is a lot of money, guys. don't let the crypto space warp reality. Okay, so 1.48x. Here's another project called Tribal Punk. Within the first 24 hours, you had 1 hour to sell at a 2.6x. Project called JoJo. Within the first 24 hours, you had 1 hour to sell at a 4.4x. Project called Frog Inu. Within the first 24 hours, you had 1 hour to sell at a 5x. That's pretty impressive, pretty substantial, pretty exciting. But here, let's kick it up a notch. We actually have 3 different ways we determine the Vetter Audited Highest Low. We have 3 different time frames. We have the first 24 hours of a project launch. Then we have the next 7 days. Now, the beautiful thing about the 7 days is within that 7-day time period, you had over 20 hours to sell at a 40.5x. And what we're saying is, if you were on vacation or you forgot that you got in this project, or you're fumbling around with Pancake Swap or PooCoin, and what's the slippage? And oh my goodness, it's not going through. I'm getting errors. What we're saying is you've had plenty of time, adequate time. Like I said, 1 hour in the 24-hour time frame. In the 7-day time frame, you have over 24 hours to swap out your position and secure your bag. Those are the types of gains that we talk about in the Vetter platform and the Vetter ecosystem. And that's just one of the ways that we are changing the game, raising the bar, and creating new standards in this industry. Now, if you're watching this right now and you have no clue what Vetter is, you don't hold Vetter tokens, that's okay. Go ahead and visit Vetter.AI. You're gonna be able to learn about what we're up to, what we do, and why we're getting the results that we're getting. Okay, now one of the things I love most about the Vetter platform is the crowdsourced intelligence aspect of it. Okay, being able to work collectively with other people, it saves yourself time, energy, and money. And the reason we see these types of gains is simple. We've created a simple platform that has combined artificial intelligence, AI, with crowdsourced intelligence. And in a few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what the crowdsourced model looks like live. Like, you're going to be able to witness it firsthand. But first, I want to show you how simple it is to navigate our platform. Let's go ahead and pull up our platform here. Now, this is the Vetter board. And as you can see, there's a lot of stuff going on here. And there's a lot of things that are built into the Vetter platform and Vetter ecosystem. Now, I can't cover every single detail today, because I mean, that would take a lot of time because there's so much built into the platform. But there are two areas that I really want to focus on today. And one of those is Vetter University, and the other one is a CrowdX calendar. So over here, you're going to see a little camera. And this is Vetter University. We've been recording, collecting, and compiling a database of crypto-related resources, okay, that can support you in your crypto journey. Okay, it allows you to literally have access to a wealth of knowledge to support you no matter where you're at in your crypto journey. Whether you're brand new and you don't even know what BNB is, and you don't know why you need it, or you don't know what a DApp is, you don't know whether you should use MetaMask or Trust Wallet. Literally, we've compiled a whole resource here where everything is covered. And I host sessions like this 2 days a week, where I'm literally teaching people how to find the gains they want, whether it's 2x, whether it's 100x, anything in between. And we cover the ins and outs of pre-sales. We cover some of the head game stuff like volume of launches, VOL, volume of launches. We cover things like KSP, knowledge of system performance, KSP, knowledge of system performance. And you have access to that as well. An entire library of a variety of sessions that have been recorded, documented, and you're able to watch those there. So for example, here's some of the titles here: how to find crypto pre-sales and manage them, 6 new crypto pre-sales on Binance. Are you betting or gambling with crypto pre-sales? Here's one of our members turned 12 BNB into 62 BNB with his team. How to 10x your crypto gains. All of these types of things have been recorded, documented to help you and support you in your learning and in the growth process. Now, the secret to maximizing this platform is to utilize the tool the way it was designed to be used. Okay, to utilize the tool the way it was designed to be used. So for example, if you held a hammer at the opposite end that you're supposed to hold the hammer. Okay, so think about a hammer. You have the handle, you have the opposite end. If you were to hold the hammer at the opposite end and you tried to nail a nail in the wall, you're not going to get the results that you want to get. It could be kind of a frustrating experience. The same thing with the Vetter platform. Okay, it is a tool. It's a research tool. And I'm here to show you how to hold the handle the right way so you can get the results you want to get. Now, I often say that Vetter is a form of leverage. And leverage is the ability to do more with less. Okay, leverage is the ability to do more with less. So think about this. If you were to walk outside and try to pick up your car, that might be a little challenging. However, if you were to get a jack, stick it under the car where it's supposed to go, use the jack the right way, and crank it up, the car is going to lift. Why? Because you're using the tool, you're using a form of leverage, the way it's designed, and leverage is the ability to do more with less. The Vetter platform is the same way. It allows you to save yourself time, energy, and money instead of you being in a position to be digging through all these social platforms and Telegram and Twitter, Instagram and Reddit and YouTube trying to find the next pre-sale. Instead, there's literally a database here where people have shared the thoughts, shared their insights, and you get to come along and sift and sort to see what you like best. Now, I will say, it is not a crystal ball, okay? Vetter platform is a lot of things: tool, form of leverage. It is not a crystal ball. So someone asked me one time, Ryan, show me the next 2x. I'm like, hey, it doesn't work like that. They're like, show me the next 10x. It doesn't work like that. What it does, it puts you in position to look at these projects that have the potential of getting those types of gains. Now, I will say that anything I share today is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. And what we're literally talking about is utilizing the research tool, sharing ideas on what we like, what we dislike about projects. And so you get to do your own research to see if it's a right fit for you. So this is the CrowdX calendar. These are all pre-sales at a variety of stages in the process, whether they've already launched, because today is the 21st. And, so projects launch back on the 1st, but whether they've launched, whether they're in pre-sale, private sale, you name it, that's what's here. Now, at first, it could be a little overwhelming. Like, that's a lot of projects going on there. Okay, that's a lot of projects. And so what we have here are filters to support you in narrowing your focus so you can find the projects that you really want to look for. Okay, so when you click on network, here's all the networks that we have on our calendar. Okay, so let's say that you want to look at projects that are only on Binance. Okay, now it's filtering projects and showing projects that are only on Binance. Let's say you want to look at projects that are only on Ethereum. These are the projects that are on Ethereum. Okay, so changing the network allows you to sift and sort and find exactly what you are looking for. So the next filter we have up here is Launchpad. Okay, so let's say that you absolutely dislike Presale, but you're all about DXL. When you change that, now there's projects that are showing up for DXL. Okay, you change it back. Now we want Presale. These are all the projects that are launching on Presale. Okay, as networks continue to grow and launchpads continue to show up, this is where you'd be able to find perhaps GemPad or RCPad or these other different platforms that are coming out. So you're able to filter things that way. Next off, you're able to filter things based on category. So maybe you're into gaming projects, or maybe you only stick strictly to utility projects. You're able to sift and sort this way. So let's say you want to look at utility projects on Binance that are launching on Presale that are utility. Let's see what happens. There we go. Here are the projects on Binance, on Presale that are utility-based projects. That's how you're able to narrow your focus. Now we can take it a step further. Last session we covered, the ability and benefit of concept of buy low, sell high. We all know buy low, sell high, but why is it that so many people buy the top? Like we know the strategy is buy low, sell high, but yet people are buying tops. Why? So right here, event type, you can filter based on private sales, pre-sales, and fair launches. So you have the opportunity to get into a project way early in advance if you find a private sale. So for example, here's projects that had private sales. Okay, so there's a couple down here. Maybe it puts you in a position to get in early. Okay, then you can sort by rank. Okay, we have a color-coded ranking system. Okay, then you can search by projects that tend to do well at certain time frames. Some scouts post projects that do really well in the 24-hour time frame. Some post projects that do really well in the 30-day time frame. This is all about narrowing your focus and finding what works best for you, your strategy, and your lifestyle. So let's go ahead and bring up a project. And I'm going to give an inside look into the information that you're seeing on the screen and what that actually means to you. Okay, so there's two different roles within our ecosystem. One is the scout, and the second is the vetter. Now, a scout, they're going to go out and find the project. They're going to do the work to sift through Telegram, sift through Twitter, sift through YouTube, find a project, and then bring it and put it on the calendar. And they're going to provide some really basic information. Okay, Telegram information, project name, network, category, okay, type of, is private sale, pre-sale, what is it? Twitter, website, soft cap, hard cap. It's the basic information. They're going to go a step further. They're going to share some of the positives about the project. They're going to share some of the red flags about the project, and then offer additional details here. Okay, it's kind of like scratching the scratch. Okay, providing some basic information for the project, but this basic information is enough for you to be able to utilize and make a decision on whether you want to either research the project more or go ahead and say, you know what, I like the scout's track record. I'm just going to go ahead and watch this project and get in when it's time to get in. That's one of the benefits. The next thing is the vetter. A vetter will come along and they're going to do a deep dive on the project. Okay, they're going to do their due diligence and they're going to find out questions, or they're going to get answers to questions that they're like, hey, you know what? I'm really unsure about this. I was looking at the website and I was unsure about that. And they're the ones who are bringing back even more detailed information than the scout is. Okay, information about the Telegram group. Okay, information about the team. Information about AMAs. How many AMAs have been done? What groups have they been in? Information about the contract, and then a short summary, sharing the things that they like and dislike about the project. Now, here's the beautiful part about this process is, I showed a calendar, there's hundreds of projects. And the beautiful thing about this platform is you can work it and utilize it for your own needs. Okay. If you just want to use it as a means of what's the next crypto pre-sale, okay, great. Here it is. Or if you want to utilize it as, oh, here's a potential opportunity here, you can do that. And so we have something called a follow feature. So when you go to the Scout's profile, this is their tracker page. Okay. And this shows some of their stats. The Scout has scouted 78 projects. Okay. And so the beautiful thing about this part is you can now follow Hellstrom. When you click follow, you're going to get notifications every time Hellstrom adds a new project to the calendar, favorites a project. And so you're going to get insights into what they're doing, and you can make your choices based on that. There's some scouts in our community that have an 80% success rate, 80%, which means there's some people in our community, literally, they follow certain scouts. And whenever a scout posts a project, they're like, hey, there's my next project to get into. They don't want to do any research. And that's what I mean by it's all about customizing it for yourself and finding out what works best for you, your lifestyle, and your personal strategy. But the follow feature is fantastic to be able to look at scouts and get some insights into the projects that they're posting, what they're looking at, and how you can actually, like I said, I don't want to say ride their coattails, because that sounds like a negative thing. This is a good thing, riding their coattails in a good way. Basically having the inside scoop. Now, another cool thing and factor about this process, this is part of the crowdsourced intelligence, is literally being able to get insights instead of you digging up all this research on yourself and finding it yourself. You can just read the notes. Okay. And how it can save you time is literally, again, instead of doing all the research on your own, you can literally sift through projects on the calendar. If it checks your boxes, okay, if you've done your volume of launches, VOL, and your KSP, knowledge assistant performance, meaning you know the Scout's success rate, that 8 out of 10 are going to be winners. If it checks your boxes, it's a really easy choice on whether you want to continue to look at the project, get in it, or move to the next one. And that's what makes this process really, really cool. I'm all about data, all about numbers. And when I started putting the numbers together for the scouts, I mean, we have some absolutely phenomenal scouts, and you're going to be able to see that here in a minute. But they do a fantastic job of finding these projects, and our vetters do a fantastic job of going deeper into these projects to see if it fits your own personal strategy. So you may be thinking, okay, well, there's a lot of projects here on the calendar, Ryan, like, okay, like really, right now the market is red, things are not looking good, people are sad, like, how are these projects actually performing? Our last week of data, okay, our last recorded week of data, there were 21 projects that we recorded that launched on the calendar, okay? 8 projects did a 1.1 to 1.49x, okay? I say that stat simply because as the market is going down and people are losing their mind, 8 projects out of 21 were not rugs, and you could have broke even or made just a little bit of money. That's a big deal considering market conditions. 12 projects out of 21 did a 1.5x or more. That means anywhere from 1.5x up. We're talking 5x, 10x, 20x, 100x. I don't think we had any 100x gains last week. I think the highest we had last week was like a 10x. Okay. So 20 projects out of 21 was minimum break even. Maybe you got out and you paid a little bit in tax and you just broke even and up. And so, yes, even in these conditions, because of what we've done with the way we research projects, the way we find projects, the way we sift together and work together to find these projects, discuss these projects, it's putting people in positions to help them win and find their next hidden gem. Now, it's great to hear about a successful project after the fact. It's like, okay, great. Hindsight, okay, I should have gotten into that. People all the time say, oh man, how did I miss this? Okay. It's always great to hear about a project after the fact. But let's talk about the next project that has the next 2x to 100x potential. And this is what we call the project of the week. Now, the way this is going to work is we're going to briefly interview the project owner, and then we're going to dive into the project with a few of our top scouts and vetters. Okay, now keep in mind, this is not a traditional AMA with softball type questions. We want to connect and we want to learn from real teams with real projects. Now, if during this process, if you have any questions, remember the notepad I told you to take out when you're taking notes, because you're taking notes right now, remember that? Write down your questions, and then at the end, we'll go over how to get your questions answered when we wrap up, okay? So, I just also want to mention that this project is not sponsored by Vetter, okay? It's literally an opportunity to have an unbiased look at, again, the next 2x to 100x gem, okay? And just for full transparency, this is my first time looking at the project and communicating with the team, okay? The scouts and vetters on this project have done a phenomenal job. They're top tier. And the reason I didn't want to do any research is because I wanted to have unbiased questions about the project and the team, just like a user would that uses our platform. Okay, so totally unbiased. I'm curious and I'm excited to dig into this project and ask the questions that we're going to have today. So the project of the week is DeMe, and we're going to go ahead and pull up the website right now. And as that's pulling up, I'll pull up the information. Oh, right here, yeah. There we go. Okay, so DeMe is a project of the week. The future of Web3 social. DeMe is a future of Web3 social, bringing about the bridge from traditional social media platforms to Web3 based social media, introducing an entirely new social blockchain, social media dApp built in to rival the social media giants in the traditional social media landscape. So it sounds like they're going after, Twitter and Facebook and all the other top sites. NFT marketplace built into the social media dApp that allows users to mint NFTs straight from their profile. Cryptocurrency wallet built into the social media dApp, and the DeMe official exchange. So let's scroll down here and check out the team here. Alex is an experienced marketing executive and software developer who spent years working in the financial and real estate markets, including the current director of Open Home Limited. She's passionate about the decentralized space and looks forward to lending her experience and skills to DeMe as it pioneers a new way to experience online media. Now, we're actually joined with Alex. She is with us today. And Alex, are you there?
I'm here. Thank you. Thank you for the introduction.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here today. And congratulations again on your project being the project of the week.
It's amazing. Thank you so much. We've been speaking a lot with your scouts and your bidders that have been over in the project, and they ask really, really great in-depth questions, and we love having them over there in the chat.
Yeah, it's great. That's one of the things that we really teach in the Vetter community is, asking questions, asking really good questions, more than just the basic stuff that you could find on the website, like a bigger picture, And one of the first things I wanted to ask was, can you share just a little bit about, your vision for the project? Why did you decide to have this really audacious and really big vision in the social media space?
Absolutely. So Casey and I, as the co-founders, we've been in the space for about 3 years, and we noticed that there was this huge gap in Web3 social. There are platforms out there at the moment in the Web3 social sphere, but none of them that quite rival what's offered in the Web2 space. And we really thought if we're able just to, pioneer the decentralized media movement, we'll be able to offer users of traditional Web2 social media platforms a soft introduction to the blockchain space. And that's something that we're really passionate about, is just growing the blockchain space as a whole and providing a platform that does rival those in the Web2 space, but provides all the benefits of blockchain technology as well.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm definitely I'm a huge optimist. I feel like I'm a pretty visionary person. I have really big goals and ambitions. And, so to hear things like this, it gets me excited when there's, teams out there that have a really big, ambitious vision. What do you think it's going to take from you to realize this vision? Because I mean, this is big. I mean, this is swinging for the fence.
Absolutely. It is a huge, huge project. And with projects like this, there is so much potential as well. And so it's really about making sure that we have the right teams, the right processes, and really just the drive behind it. You really have to, with projects like this, you really have to have a passion to see them through, because that's what's going to get you through the tough times. And at the moment, with the market doing what it's doing, it is a tough time, but we've got so much traction behind us at the moment, and we're pushing so hard. And despite what the market is doing, we're actually doing an amazing job getting the word out there about our project. And it shows. Obviously, we hear that we're the project of the week, so we're really excited about what we're doing.
That's awesome. Now, you did mention team, and you're right. The team environment is so critical and crucial, whether it's the front end team or the back end team. And with such a big project, how many devs do you have working with you, and what's their experience?
So this is our core team that you can see here. And so the three of us, myself, Casey, and Cleo, we're based in New Zealand. Norman, who's done our contract development and provides technical support around that, he is international. Our marketing team that we've partnered with is Mintex for our pre-sale marketing. And we've broken down our marketing into different sections, basically. And so we've got investor marketing within the finance space. And then we'll also have the marketing for brand awareness of what we're trying to do, and reaching out to all of those users that aren't in this space. And we've also got the development team that we're working alongside, and we'll be able to announce who that is post-launch. They're a very, very experienced team in the space. They're some of the people that basically had the first apps on the Apple App Store. So we're really excited about working with them. So we've got the right teams in place to make sure that we're able to push this project, make sure that we have an exceptional functioning platform, and all of our technology is to the highest standard.
That's great. Now, one of the things that I have found in this crypto space is it's kind of like the wild, wild west, and it's like if something can go wrong, it likely will. And I found that projects that actually are legit and good, something will go wrong. And so what are some of your personal life experiences, whether it be life or in business, that whenever you guys do meet something that it doesn't go as planned, or you meet a roadblock or have a setback, what are some personal experiences that you've had that that the team can rally, come together, and make it through?
Oh, absolutely. And we've even had this as of late. I mean, we've been putting together this project for, I'd say, the last 6 months, putting this all together. And the market conditions have just continuously continuously kind of started working against us. But even despite this, we've been able to push forward with what we're doing and still get the traction that we had hoped for, even in better market conditions, to be able to push this project forward. And I mean, with Casey and I both owning our own businesses, we're forever running into roadblocks. We get them with whatever we do. And we really like to think of ourselves as problem solvers, and anything that comes in our way, they're just hurdles. And we always like to find a way to move past them or work them to our advantage.
Right. No, I think that's fantastic. And you mentioned something that was actually my next question. You guys have been working at this for the last 6 months. And so how far are you into the development of the DApp, and when will it actually be ready?
So we've started it. So we've mapped out exactly how we want everything to work with our development team. And we're in the process of the ideation and getting the whole front end and UI done. And post-launch, we'll be able to release that to the community within the first 2 to 4 weeks. And we're also looking to have our development done for our MVP, which is basically our social media DApp, within 3 to 4 months, which will then be able to be released to the community. We can get feedback on the beta testing, and we'll be able to really get the community to help us shape that. And then come the end of the 6 months, I know that I think this is a couple of questions that we had from your vetters, and it's very important to note as well that come 6 months is when our liquidity will unlock, because at that point we'll be looking to migrate to our own blockchain. And for whatever reason, if that's not ready, we will be looking to lock that for an extended period and migrate at that stage. But right now we're looking at 6 months to have that MVP ready. And the MVP at this stage will be built so that it integrates with an existing blockchain so that users are able to have a look at how it's going to work. And then we will make sure that it's ready to be integrated into our own blockchain when that's all ready to be migrated to.
Okay, great. So about six months until people can start being on the platform and have something in their hands, so to speak.
Exactly. I mean, UI, they'll be able to get a feel for what everything's going to look and feel like within the first 2 to 4 weeks post-launch. And we'll be able to continue releasing all of that up until, yes, about 3 to 4 months, when they will be able to actually have an MVP product in their hand that they can use and give feedback on.
That's great. Yeah, that reminds us of our launch. It was a very similar process, different stages as the development was being done. Now, I am curious: is the project developing any sustainable revenue streams, that are built into the business model?
Yeah, so on our platform, we're going to have ad revenue. And with our platform, also privacy is a big thing for us as well. So we will have ad revenue that's similar to how it works on the traditional social media platforms. But we will be giving users the option to be able to turn their privacy settings on so that they're not going to be receiving any of those ads. But yes, ad revenue will be one of our major streams of income, but this is also going to be shared, because this is one of the pain points that we've found in the traditional Web2 social landscape, is that content creators and users of the platform are highly undervalued.
Yeah.
And so one of the cool features that we've built into it is that 70% of our ad revenue is actually going to be redistributed back to the users of our Web3 social platform, based on their social activity. And so all the social activity within the platform is going to be assigned what we call a social activity coefficient, and they'll be assigned values, and they'll be redistributed based on their value, their social activity.
Nice. I like that. Well, perfect. So Alex, hey, thank you for taking some time out and sharing, the vision and a little bit about the team and where you guys are headed. We're going to transition to the next part of the call, where now our top scouts and vetters, we're going to do a conversation live on what we're liking about the project, what we're disliking, why we think it has potential, and sharing our thoughts. And so, during this process, we do ask everybody to, please remain muted. And again, if you have any questions, write them down. And at the end of the call, we will go over how to get those answered. So with that being said, today I'm going to be joined by PSC100X, which you know her as Phyllis. We're joined by Hellstrom, which you know him as Hellstrom. His name is Jesse. And you also know Metaloride, and his name is Justin. So you guys go ahead and hop on. Phyllis, how are you?
I am wonderful. Thank you, Alex, for being here today. I really appreciate it. And it was great to hear everything that you are bringing to the table here. So thank you so much for being here. And Ryan, thanks for hosting another great call. So
absolutely. I when we were talking about this project, and you guys had brought it up, and you were excited about it. I was really excited to do this, and being able to talk to Alex was fantastic. So now let's start breaking down the project on what are some of the things that really stood out to you, Phyllis, about the vision of this project and where they're headed, and the reason why.
Well, the biggest thing for me is I feel very strongly about how our data is actually being exploited. It's being exploited by large corporations. They're tracking and measuring everything we do. And that's kind of been a really big pet peeve of mine. So that was something that was very intriguing to me, as well as one of the things that also was that there's so much information out there that we actually generate. For instance, I'm not a motivational speaker, but I do post a lot of things that represent a good life. What do we need to do to be, to have a good life, and etc. And some of the content I'm reading back and I'm like, wow, that's pretty good. So I'm sharing all this amazing content out there, but I'm not really, being paid to do that, and that's, that to me was also another point. I was like, wow, there's content creators out there that are amazing, but people that are making money are these large corporations, and there's really only a few of them. So
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons that it piqued my interest, to actually take a deeper look, into this.
Right. So the two things that I heard you say was kind of, we're all about data integrity, but the fact that, companies are exploiting our data and using that against us, and making a fortune on it. And then the flip side, or not the flip side, but the other piece of this is, content creators, the platform is making all this money at the expense of people using the platform. And so, what stood out to you was how, DeMe solves those two problems, right?
Exactly. And that was really intriguing to me. So I found, that's what made me reach out to Alex to be able to get some additional questions answered, traditional questions answered, in regards to the project, for marketing and things along that line. So they're my two main reasons why, I like what I see. I also think that I love the transparency that I've gotten so far. It's been one of the biggest criterias for me and for, most veterans and scouts is, can they get communication happening, between yourself and, development team. And that was also extremely important for me to take a look at. And not only did I see that from Alex, but I also saw that like an extended arm, from the moderating team. And it kind of reminded me of our vetter community, how responsive and how transparent, and pretty much how our core team interacts, with the community.
Yeah, no, that's a big deal. Hearing that, we see hundreds of projects. We see hundreds of projects. So it's always refreshing whenever you can stroll up into a community, ask some questions, and actually get answers. It seems like it's such a simple thing to do. But it's not that simple for some projects. So that's really great. Communication is absolutely key. And it sounds like, this team is very transparent and giving the information that they have. Now, just out of curiosity, were we able to dig into some of the marketing? So one of the things we look for with projects is, what's the core team? Who's the core team? Do they have experience in the crypto side? Do they have experience in business? Super, super, super important that those boxes are checked. What's the dev team like? What's their experience level, and how big is the team? And the next phase is, what does the marketing look like? Were we able to find out anything about the marketing plans? I know Alex shared a little bit about the different stages leading into the pre-sale and then post-launch and things like that. But what are some of the things that we have uncovered about the marketing plans?
Well, a lot of the things that I looked at and that I spoke to Alex about in commenting with each other is that there's a range of different marketing campaigns, and it's based on, different goals, which is important because not everybody is going to be, our goals are never going to, or all of us, our goals are not all the same. So I know that they are going to be doing a viral style marketing with the D app, which I think is very important. Also, I actually wanted to get more insight on. She had mentioned something about the business lead marketing to generate ad revenue, but she spoke about it a lot today, in regards to how that was going to work. And I'm interested on, how that's actually going to take place. They're also implementing, of course, they're going to be working with influencers. And I like the fact that, they're not going to be, paying their influencers, in ridiculous amounts of their token.
Yeah.
And they also, let's see, I like the part that was interesting to me was the educational marketing that they wanted to do, because that kind of reminded me of kind of where we are in Vetter, because they're in the space that she's going to be in, they're going to be in, there's going to be social media, right? And then there's going to be people who have no clue at all about the crypto space, and we see that as well. So they're going to be doing some educational marketing for brand awareness, for the investors to feel confident, in what they're doing. And that speaks to people outside of course, within the space of cryptocurrency, but also outside the space. So I like the fact that they're going to be actually moving in that direction as well. Their plans of building their own blockchain, I think, is aggressive. I think it's going to be a very I'm assuming it's going to be a very big task. So yeah, that's kind of the brand awareness. I like that they're partnered with someone, Mintex, and I actually wanted to, I'm going to do a little bit more awareness myself and finding more about who they are. And the other thing that really made an impact on me in regards to their marketing is that they're looking for people in the industry who pretty much, know best. Like, for instance, they're already working, and she didn't disclose it, but they're already working with, someone who actually had some, huge experience with, being the first, app on, Apple. So there's
she had mentioned that just briefly when we were chatting just a minute ago. Yeah.
And I like that, because then it means that they're not just looking at just what's in front of them from a marketing perspective. They're also looking at it from the longevity of the project, because they know, trying to get on some of those types of dApps or apps is a difficult task. So they're already starting to look at, they already have those inroads in place, so to speak.
Yeah, planning ahead, making those contacts and connections. So it's not like a reaction. You're being proactive about the development and moving forward.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, another thing that we definitely look for is hype. What kind of hype is headed into in the community. Hype is headed into the marketing. Justin, what are some of the things that you were liking about that?
Hey guys, yeah. So I believe right now in this crypto world, wonderful world, hype is definitely a big player in this at this time, and I really like the fact their Telegram group is not botted. Very, very, very little, if any. It's not botted. There's a very strong community there. A lot of really good questions being asked, a lot of really good engagement. Alex, of course, and their mods and admin over there are very quick to answer any questions that us scouts or vetters or any community members for that matter are quick to answer. And they answer the questions. They're not beating around the bush or around the question or anything like that. It's straight to the point, and that's great. And I've had some tough questions compared to some of the other projects we've looked at before, and they've done that where Alex is always really quick to get on and answer those questions. So that's great, and I like that. Their Twitter account is around 1,000 members, so it's great that there's not a lot of paid followers. It's all sort of organic growth.
Yeah, I like that a lot. The fact that one of the things that I really like to see is I would rather see lower numbers of real people than inflated numbers of fake people. It just has a totally different vibration to me to see that, and I really appreciate. I really appreciate the team that feels. I guess they don't feel pressured to have inflated numbers. Like they feel very confident and bigger picture thinkers when you have real followers versus those big inflated numbers. I like that a lot.
One of the things about that on that topic that stands out the most to me is the fact that this is a social media utility that's in development, and they understand about not having bots and having real people. Right. Like, does that makes sense to me? So yeah. I like that. I give them credit for that.
Yeah, we would have called you out if you had some inflated numbers. That makes that makes a lot of sense. That doesn't go hand in hand, does it?
Yeah.
That's great.
They've got a YouTube channel. Alex does a great job in their intro demo video. It was actually one of the initial things that really caught my attention about the project. It's definitely worth watching to get a good quick overview and understanding of what the project is all about. So I like that. They're being involved with a ton of AMAs, which is awesome. Like, I mean, I think Alex after this is going to need a nap because she's like, it's just nonstop back and forth. So that's really awesome to see. That's creating a lot of hype, bringing in a lot of new people to their project. So I like that. As far as hype, I'm not really sure much more.
Yeah, no, that's great. No, thank you for sharing that. You brought up some really good points. One of the things that we look for is consistency. Consistency, whether it be with marketing, consistency, whether it be with branding. And, Justin, you brought up a really good point about, here's a project, projects for whatever reason sometimes have the urge to boost their numbers. And here's a project that's in the social media space and they have real followers. If that were not the case, that would be a really big red flag. So the fact that you guys have organic growth, again, speaks to what it is that you want to create in the value there. So Jesse, I know that you had taken some time to look at the tokenomics. What are some of the things that has come up for you?
One of the things I really like with the tokenomics is that it's not a mass inflated number like 1 quadrillion or 10 quadrillion, whatever. From what I could tell, it's 100 million tokens, and that bodes well for exchanges. The exchanges really don't like the quadrillion token numbers, so they won't have to do like a version 2 to consolidate and get those numbers down. One of the questions that we did have was the 17% unlocked out of their token allocation. I communicated with James. He got back to me, or he contacted Alex right away, got back to me right away. So the reason they're leaving that unlocked is they are going to put percentages of that into exchanges. Some of it will be marketing incentives, airdrops to like YouTube shillers or however you want to call it. And then they're talking about doing like a community-oriented prizes, so airdrops for activities along those lines.
Okay.
The team vesting is 7% allocation, which is not huge. It's it doesn't seem to be a red flag to me. I've seen up to like 20-25% for a team, so it seems all right. The buy sell tax 7%, 5% for development and marketing, 2% for liquidity, which is a reasonable number. Like under 10% is excellent, right? So that there's not as much fear of people buying and selling, which is good.
Right.
Aside from that, yeah. The liquidity, like they said, they locked it till December 23rd. There was some question about that, but Alex obviously cleared it up, saying that that was when they plan to switch from a token to their own blockchain and make a coin. So they need the ability to move their liquidity. So having that short time frame for the lock is understandable now that she's explained why.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah,
Phyllis, was there something you wanted to add in?
Well, I was going to just say that, because you need to have some sort of liquidity out there if you're going to be, in reserve to be able to, they're holding that out for when they migrate to their own blockchain and be able to provide liquidity to the exchanges, of course, and also to fund, further projects too on the blockchain. So that all made sense to me, because I dug into that question as well. I wanted to know what was the reasoning behind that. So I was, pretty satisfied with what I heard. So I think that's pretty interesting, too. I love the fact that the rewards, I think it's really amazing, how 70% of the ad revenue is going to go to the users. I'm not really quite sure how that's going to actually play out, but that was pretty great, considering that most people who are out there pretty much don't receive anything at all. So
Yeah.
I really liked that fact as well. So pretty much the tokenomics seem pretty pretty much kind of norm. The thing I do want to bring up is that I know that I had conversation, I believe, with someone, I don't know whether it was with James or with Alex, but I know that the initial tax, and just so everybody knows that, I believe there's going to be like a 48-hour window where the tax is going to be like 20% or so. So and there could be, and I know Alex said this. I actually jumped in on a couple of other AMAs that they were on, that she has done, and kudos to you. I don't know how you are standing right now, because I think you were on 2 that I was actually on for a few minutes today, but they they also said that they were going to alert the community, because they probably will have a very high tax in the first 1 to 2 minutes. So just that's not mentioned anywhere here in the tokenomics, but I know that the transparency of that will be brought to the community, and I'm just letting our community know that as well, so that someone's not shocked. But however, like Alex had said, I think it was today or one of the days I was on a AMA, that they will alert the community, and that's the right thing to do when it comes to when it comes to that. And I wanted to just also touch on, I liked the one thing that I just briefly will touch on is that I'm starting to really like GemPad, and some of the reasons behind that she gave me, why they're using them is, number one, they're using GemPad, and they use their partners that are doing their audit, which I thought was great. But also there's no funding, that actually, there's nothing that comes out of like Presale and those guys, nothing actually, there's no big amount of tokens that are going to get dumped from GemPad, because they don't take any. And that was important for her. She had mentioned that a couple times, because then again, you're able to you're doing what's best for the community, so you're not allowing these big massive dumps.
Yeah. Now, one of the questions I did want to ask, since you guys have done a deep dive on this, and just, support me in if this creates questions, obviously, we can go in their Telegram and ask, but just off the top of my head, she was saying that there's obviously going to be a developmental phase with the dev team and in the platform and everything like that. And, so it could be, up to 6 months until, it's actually utilizing it. And I would imagine at that point, maybe, the ad revenue would be kicking in. But do you guys see the potential for, sustainable growth up into that point, or growth really happening once the platform is there? Almost like this is do you feel that based on what you've seen that the project will continue to grow up to the platform being released, or the project will really, really take off when the platform is released? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And, with having, they had a private sale, and it was,
Okay.
it was pretty, I think limited. It was like, I think 100 B&B.
Okay.
So, they have, some of that, and I kind of questioned, and I heard it a couple times in different AMAs, the limited 300 B&B, pretty much for the pre-sale. And so that kind of threw a little bit of kind of question to me. I mean, they do have the tax that that was mentioned, by Jesse. So I think that's going to, come into play. But I think that I'm not really quite sure, but I think they're, because of the marketing they've been doing and how they're really, out there, bringing the hype, to the token. And I think they're probably going to have to lean, more on the actual revenue coming in, from the actual launch itself, to be able to sustain that. So that is a question, a deeper question, we would want to kind of get more into, on their Telegram group.
Awesome. Yeah. Hey, thank you guys. Yeah, Jesse, go ahead.
Yeah, one of the things that Alex had mentioned today in one of her calls that I was on was when they do have the platform launched and the people want to post ads, they are going to have to buy their token as payment for the ad. So they're not going to just hand them over cash and then put an ad on. They have to actually buy token and transfer it to them. And then that 70% of those tokens will be split to the users and the content creators, depending on how they perform with their algorithm, right? Like obviously someone who's posting tons and tons of videos is going to have a higher return from the algorithm than someone who's just commenting on them. But that's kind of what their model is going to be going forward, is that the ad revenue is going to be paid for by buying the tokens. 70% of that is going to get put into that pool for the users. 30% is going to go to marketing and development for continuing with the project. So obviously, just like our project, until the app is launched and they're using it and they're generating revenue, the pre-sale, the private sale money, any tax money that they get from that pump at the start is going to be what they have to develop.
Okay, that makes
and
sense.
Also too, I want to just mention, I was just looking back on my notes, and one of the things I believe that I heard was that they're going to set it up so that the creators, pretty much are going to, the content creators are not going to be able to dump so much, because they're going to, I think they're going to be, she mentioned something about being contracted. So that's probably all tying into that as well. I wrote that down. So I think that's also probably another piece, Jesse, to tie into what you just said.
Yeah. But I do like the idea of them not just getting a check for cash.
Absolutely.
From the advertisers, right? They're going to get like whatever's for $45,000 worth of their token to post an ad for a month or whatever. So it's going to create buy pressure. There will be sell pressure, obviously, but it's going to feed into rewarding people for using the platform more than just a tax, because everybody knows with tokenomics, if the project's not getting a lot of volume, the taxes are not going to cover the
Absolutely.
expenses, right? But if they're buying the token in order to get their advertisement on there, then those tokens, from what she was saying, they're going to use the tokens from the ad buys 70% to feed the pools that are paying the users and the content creators. So I really like that idea.
I do too. Thanks for bringing that up, Jess.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's good. Well, awesome, guys. We're at the top of the hour, so I just want to give a shout out again to you, Jesse, Justin, and Phyllis. Thank you for doing a deep dive on Project DeMe, and Alex. Thank you for being here with us today, sharing your vision about the project. If you have any questions about DeMe, go ahead and check out their Telegram group. I will go ahead and drop that in the chat here, and you can check out their Telegram. And get your questions answered there. But no, this was a great call. And the whole purpose of the call was obviously to highlight a great project that could be the next 2x, 100x gem. At the same time, going over the, what it's like to be a part of the Vetter ecosystem and platform, and the value of crowdsourced intelligence, working together, different perspectives, different skill sets, all coming together to share thoughts and ideas. And at the end of the day, it's about providing you with ideas that can support you in what you like or dislike about projects. There were things that we brought up today that we liked a lot. There were things we brought up that we weren't really sure about. And ultimately, the beautiful thing about the crypto space is it's all subjective. At the end of the day, we have no control over, whether a project is going to do fantastic or not. And it's all about doing your due diligence in the beginning. So again, big shout out to our scouts and vetters. We have some of the best, we have the best because we are the best. We have the best scouts in vetters in the crypto space. And you just saw a glimpse of what that's all about. And again, thank you, Alex, for being here, and congratulations on being the project of the week for DeMe. So with that, we are going to now go into having the giveaway for the whitelists. Okay, there are going to be 5 whitelists spots up for grabs, and what we're going to do is we're going to do a spin the wheel kind of thing, but we're going to do it based on you answering questions. Okay, you answering questions from what we talked about today. So I dropped golden nuggets in the beginning. I said, hey, it's in your best interest to take notes today. So all the questions that are going to the answers are going to come from your notes if you're taking notes. Okay, so anybody who took notes today is going to know the answer. But the way this is going to work is I'm going to read a type of question in the chat. And the first, we'll just say for this first one, the first 5 people who respond will be entered in for the wheel. Okay, so I'm going to ask a question, and the first 5 people who respond are going to be their names are going to go on the wheel for the spin. Okay, so the first question is, what is the project name that we covered today? Oh, we got 5. Let's see who it was. We got those fast fingers here. We got LF. Okay, so let's go ahead and put LF. We got Deborah. We have Femi. We have Tim. And we have Rick. Sorry, David, you're out. Sorry, Thomas, you're out. All right, and we're going to spin, and you guys are up for grabs for one whitelist spot. LF, you are the winner, my friend. Okay, so the way this is going to work is you're going to send Phyllis a message. Her handle on Telegram is PSC100X. Okay, and so just shoot her a message and she will get you hooked up with that. So LF, you are now out. You're now out. Okay, you're now out. So now, quick question. Do we want to leave in these 4 or do we want to have a brand new 5? You know, each time the stakes get bigger, or do we want to have a fresh 5? New 5? Do I have a second? Anybody want to second that? Okay. Okay, we got a new 5. It looks like new 5 is the winner. All right, everybody's out. Everybody's out. Okay, so next question. Next question is, so in the beginning of the call, we were able to interview the founder of the project. What is her name? Oh, Alex. All right. Let's see here. Let's see. We got Caden. Congratulations, Caden. You made it on the list. Caden, we got Sleepy. Sleepy's in the house. Sleepy was awake that time. We got Eric. We have, is that Isla or Lila? I think Isla. I think that's a capital I. I-L-I-A. And we have Crypto Dread. All right. Oh, whoops. There we go. We got 5. Okay, let's go. Crypto. Congratulations, Crypto. All right, next question is, what does VAL stand for? Oh, Deborah, I said VAL. Oh, Deborah, we were so close. Okay, we got it. Vetter audited highest low. This is how we're changing the game with the different standard. Caden, Sleepy. Louise is on the board. Femi is back at it. And last but not least, we got Ila. I think I'm pronouncing that the right way. I think it's I-L-I-A. Elia. Okay, there we go. Number 5. All right, here we go. Oh, hey, Phoebe, congratulations. All right, so next question. Now, if you're new to the Vetter ecosystem, this may be something you get to rely on your notes. So be ready. What does VOL stand for? VOL. What does VOL stand for? Volume of launches. Sleepy with it. There we go. So we got Sleepy, we got Deborah, we got King, so we got Sleepy, Deborah, King. In my excitement, I gave it away, but you guys were already typing. Okay, Caden, you're in it. I see you. Caden, you got it halfway. Those fast fingers accidentally typed it in. With the enter, it looks like DEN, Caden. And last but not least, we have Lou the Bell. Oh, whoa, what just happened there? Okay, let's see here. Caden. There we go. Lou the Bell, congratulations. Okay, last but not least. Here we go. Everyone ready? Got those fingers ready? Fingers ready? Okay, last but not least, what does KSP stand for? KSP. There we go. We got the 5. All right, so we got Sleepy. Sleepy with the fast fingers. Caden next up. We got Luis. We got Luis, Sleepy, Caden. We got Paul. And last but not least, we have Andrea. Or Andrea. I'm not sure which way it's pronounced. All right, let's do this. Good luck. Caden for the win. All right, so hey, congratulations, LF, Crypto, Femi, Lulabelle, and Caden. You guys got a whitelist spot for DeMe. So I hope you guys had some fun today. This was really fun putting on, and if you learned something today, if you're excited about something, feel free to drop it in Telegram. If you're new here, if you have any questions about the Vetter platform, be sure to drop those questions in Telegram. If you have any questions as it relates to DeMe, hop in their Telegram, join their Telegram, and get your questions answered there. Again, thank you so much, Alex, for sharing today, sharing the vision of your platform. Like we've talked about, this was really a cool process to be able to learn about your project. And hopefully, we were able to ask some great questions for you, and definitely looking forward to connecting in the future and seeing how we can support each other. So with that being said, I'm going to end it like we always do. Like my mentor always said, life can be short. So for those that you care and love, let them know you care and love them. Hey, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for being a part of the Vetter platform, Vetter ecosystem. It's just an amazing ride of what we're creating together in this space. And today's call was the essence of what we do. Working together, creating win-win relationships, and looking for ways to help each other out. So with that being said, I will see you guys in Telegram. I'll see you in Discord. And that is a wrap. Bye for now.